Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I show you the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. So today is a new game, and I'm playing black. And my opponent just opened with a Kobayashi style. And so I approached low and far for safety. And when he took the corner with the diagonal move, I played here. And this is very common today. This is a normal and standard move. Back in the day, this used to be the standard move, and white could then just approach right here and put pressure on black and gain lots of points on both sides. So I didn't like this continuation, and that is why I played here. Okay, so my opponent played here, and I looked at it scornfully, and I said, what is this move? You can't split me with this move. And I connected underneath. But actually, my scorn was inappropriate because white had a perfectly good response. And that would be a continuation like this. And when he bends back here, I can come this way and make a nice base, but white can follow up like this. And look at the size of this right side. So yeah, if his purpose is to split me, that move doesn't work. But if his purpose is to work with his stones on the right, it can be a really good move, and certainly not one worthy of my scorn. At any rate, white didn't do this, though. White played here, and I thought, well, I know this doesn't work. And what I expect, of course I cut right away, and what I expected was for white to play this and then come back here. And again, he's building a shape on the right hand side, but it's nowhere near as grand as the variation that I just showed. And plus the stone at A isn't helping white all that much. So I would be pretty happy with this continuation. But white didn't do that either. And instead, white played here. And this is the game problem. And so here's how I thought about it. My move here was reasonable. This is just Seki. People play this all the time. And if he's able to just play here and connect out to the left side, then that must mean my move was wrong. If he can just easily split me and cut me in half, then there's something wrong. But I know there's nothing wrong with my move. Therefore, there must be something wrong with his. This is how I thought it through. Okay, so here's the clue for the problem, which is my thinking was correct. White's play is not reasonable. So with that said, where would you play? But getting one move isn't enough. Actually, for 80% marks, you need to get at least 7 moves correct. And then for 100%, you need to know that it can branch out after move 10, and you just have to know that you're okay with either branch. All right. Enough hints, enough talk. Go ahead and see if you can find a move. Pause if you like. Right. I played here, which was correct, putting pressure on these two stones and saying to white, you will not connect to the stones to the left. And then white played here, and I double Hane, which is also correct. Again, same purpose. When white played here, I connected, so that's 5 moves I've gotten correct. These are all fine. And then white played here, and this is where it went awry. Okay, I'll show you what I played. I played here, and white moved out. Then I played here, and white played Atari, and I connected. And at that point, white moved out here. And I was like, oh, this move is threatening. I mean, I was hoping to capture these 4 stones. That was my objective. But this move is actually threatening to capture these 4 stones. And these black stones need help now. If I play somewhere else, white can just play here and they're captured. So I have to move out. And as soon as I do that, then white got this move. And I realized, wow, I'm not getting at all what I want in this problem. All right, so white's now captured this stone. White is safe. And I decided to play where I thought white should. I tarried, and then I pushed through to make cutting points, and then I played here. So white followed up with this move, which is ugly shape and really not a good move. And I'm not sure what white was thinking here. I imagine that he was thinking that if I don't defend, then he's got this normal to Tsuji where he can wedge in, and if I try to connect out, then there's a shortage of liberties problem, and even if I connect, then he can just pick it up. But playing moves where you hope your opponent doesn't see what you're doing, you hope your opponent makes a mistake, instead of playing the proper move, isn't a good strategy. Because of course, now my shape is stronger and I'm out in front of him. So now he came back and connected, and I descended. And as I look at the whole board, yep, I didn't get as much as I wanted. The result wasn't as good as I wanted, but this black stone's completely dead, and this black stone's 80% dead. So, it's not great, but they're both relatively light stones. Whereas this group at A, which is 8 stones, is super heavy. You can't really sacrifice 8 stones. You can trade 8 stones, but you can't just give away 8 stones. So white's going to have to run, and as white runs, I should be able to make quite a lot of points and get safety for this group here. So overall, this is a perfectly good result for black, but it could have been better. So let's go back. So what was I reading? What I read is that when I played here, white was going to have to help these stones, either here or here or something, but white was going to have to help these stones or I was going to tear apart the corner. And then I could play like this, and I would capture these 4 stones. And this was my hope. This was my reading. But as it was optimistic reading, because when I played here, then white got this move. And continued on. So what should I have played instead? Well, when white connected here, I needed to be a little less optimistic in my reading. I needed to realize that his moving out here was important. So don't worry about the single stone yet. Come here. This is the key move that I missed. And when white moves out, black moves out with. All right, so I already showed that these 4 stones might get into trouble. So white can go ahead and save them right now. With this move, these 4 stones are safe. But then black gets this. And how do we look at the result? Well, honestly, it's really good for black. I mean, sure, white's alive here, but this is white's area of influence at the start. And so just living on the second line and third line isn't anything to write home about. It's not terribly good. But even more important, the area where white really hoped to make points was on the right side. But now I've got this living, thick group hovering right above where he's hoping to make points. There's not going to be much there for him. This would be a really good result for black. So can white do something different? And instead of capturing this right away, let's say he turns this way. So these are the branches that I was alluding to earlier. If he does that, and the answer is no, it's not good for white, because even if I follow the same sort of variation that I did in the game, this white group is going to get captured. He can try to be fancy and play something like this, but I just take away the eye point. And the stones he's most likely to catch are these, but he has to start here, and I've got time just to take away the liberties. If I play this and say he throws in, trying for some sort of co-shape, nothing's going to work. He needs to defect this point, otherwise he's just captured. But when I play this, white's just captured. And so if the other result was really good for black, this result is outstanding, and the game is great. Too bad I didn't play this way. All right. So what to learn from this? As so often is the case, reading is super important. Even in the opening, you have to be able to read not 1 move, not 3 moves, not 5 moves. I did that. You have to get 7 moves, 9 moves, and sometimes even recognize branches starting at move 10, even in the opening, to be able to successfully punish a overplaying opponent. And the other thing is be careful of that one-sided optimistic reading. That's what I did in this game. And my result wasn't terrible, but it could have been so much better. Thanks for watching. See you next time.